What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold action. Got an absolute cracker for you here. We've got literally, probably, arguably the two best Age of Mythology players currently playing the game. Arguably. I mean, you could argue there's a whole bunch of different players, but these are the only two currently playing the game Age of Mythology retold players who have got an S tier tournament win under their belt in the top of the map. Two-time winner playing as Susanol. It is Kvoth. And Rapl, winner of the Champions League Season 4 S tier tournament. It is Kvoth. And yes, we've got ourselves a very, very exciting game for you here on the map Tundra. Two of the more recent civilizations, Japan and Aztecs, going at it. There's still a very, very long way to go with cracking these matchups, working out all the different routes through the game. And it's really exciting to see all of this stuff develop. Sometimes it's really very, very simple about how to play a matchup. Sometimes it's very, very complicated. And I think the more civs we get in Age Mythology, just the more complicated it gets, it seems. Especially with the Aztecs, there's so many different options, so many different power spikes, so many different ways to like look at maximizing your god's potential for damage and stuff like that. And of course, you still, beyond just the strategy, like mechanics and just playing well, players are just getting better and better and better as the game exists, and it's really cool to see. So we'll see how Rapl is going to be approaching this one. He has not dropped a livestock pen just yet, and I'm going to give a shout out to my boy F-Pod. He's absolutely right. He told me, and I said, you know what, you're right and you're wrong, but if you're going to be advancing at 14 villages or 14 population, you absolutely and unequivocally should get the livestock pen. There is no reason to not. It pays for itself, and you're in a better position with it than without it. So yeah, livestock pen is a non-negotiable here for Quetzalcoatl. The only time you want to skip the livestock pen is if you're going to go for 12 villages, which doesn't really have a huge amount of value to it, as you don't have blood pact like Huitzilopochtli and your hero, while you can turn it into a Tejipla and have that lightning storm attack against Japan. They're just going to heal it off. It's not that big of a deal, in my opinion. But we are going to be seeing Rapl coming up here anyways, looking for some early game damage. The other issue is that the Susanol, most of the time here at the top level, is going to be opening up with a couple of Kitsune. And if you don't have your Kitsune in your your warrior priest in your main base to defend against that, then there's going to be a opportunity here for revenge raids. So it's very, very difficult to actually straight defend an opponent rushing you like this. But as the Miko will come out and start getting a couple of slaps, it's very difficult to defend this, but it is very, very, very simple to actually just look for that revenge raid, which we are going to be seeing here from Kvoth. He has gone for the Shrine of the Hunt. He's gone for Minakatatomi, which does nice snipe there on the low HP Tejipla. I don't know if he gets the resources back for that. I think he does. I think he does get the resources back. He's at 19 favor, so he does. But nice snipe on that one. Prevents the full HP regen there. As the stable coming up for Kvoth very, very slowly. He is kind of not respecting this attack at all. I would have expected him to basically already have himself the stable up. Still trying to grab this one. There goes the Tejipla for some early game damage. You can see he just runs. He can pop over onto goats for this moment until he can actually get himself out some stuff. And in the main base here, though, with Rapl focusing on everything going on over there, there is going to be some dead villagers. So both players here are going to take some damage. Nice retreat from Kvoth as well. So all of the villagers of the Rapl moving out into the middle here. Fantastic attack from Kvoth as the Tejipla causing a whole bunch of idle time. Both players are just getting absolutely brutalized from this one in the in what can only be described as this is just what the Aztecs live and breed. It's just chaos from the start to the end here. Now Kvoth's got to get back to work. Rapl is already back to work. He's actually grabbed himself his Kalpuli there for the lumber attachment, and now he's going up for the livestock pen. So that's going to be a nice little help. And in the main base, all of the Kitsune will get healed back up. Now, without having access to Inari or Kami, you don't have the Kitsune upgrade. So these guys are going to be a little bit lackluster as another Tijipla will come in here. A guardhouse going to get dropped down over onto this side and is an attempt to hold this all up as another little cheeky house going over there. And those Naginata Riders, or a Naginata Rider is going to be leaving. And onto the backside here, we are seeing houses going down just to block this all up. That Tijipla is almost out. Does fall down there as the villagers can pop back over onto goats. There is no problem here with eating goats versus this. Yes, you want to save them if you can, but villagers gathering resources is more valuable than villagers being idle, and just simply grabbing them underneath the town center is fine. As the warrior priest there does snipe one Kitsune, going to be sniping another one. Great control there from Rapl with the garrison micro. Very, very smart to do this. One other option would be to leave a warrior priest inside the Kalpuli lumber outpost. Kitsune charge in, drop the warrior priest out. Live the dream. Bloodletting now going to start. You're not going to lose any HP here. There's no real negatives to drop that onto the temple. And the game will continue along here as another couple houses going to come down for Kvoth, and he's going to continue to eat this. And we will probably see another Tijipla coming through, as the Tijipla raids are going to be unrelenting. Now, here's the honest truth about this. If Kvoth had some units out, this wouldn't do anything. He's got 2 Naginata Riders. If he just rushed out a whole bunch of units straight away, he's got the Miko to heal them up, and you can actually fight that Tijipla. It's not that strong. If you've got like the actual human units, you can actually beat that Tijipla. It's not too hard. Of course, there's a whole bunch of warrior priests here, but there's no excuses here not to have a whole bunch of units if you are Kvoth. The only reason he doesn't is because he's been investing into other things. As one villager here will go down as the warrior priest coming through, causing so many issues here. Another villager over here. Oh, no, gets behind. Nice little sneak into that gap there as the warrior priest couldn't get through into the main base here. Villagers do get idled. No real... Well, maybe there was a kill there. I'm not exactly sure. But no real kills. And back to work as both players are just like, yeah, we don't really care at the moment about a whole lot of anything here. As the Tijipla comes in, shoots a whole bunch of villagers. It's about to die. He could pop out and just shank it down to kill it even faster, get back to work quicker, but nonetheless, he also could bring a Miko in to heal up all of his villagers, no problems. Raiding over onto this side, it's more warrior priests are coming out. It's kind of wild to just sort of watch mass warrior priests raids continuing in here, but I think this is the end of it. One of the weaknesses of Susanoo definitely is the speed at which you get going in these games, but I do reckon that there was a world here where had Kvoth just herded his hunt back to its town center, this wouldn't have done anything. He would have had all the units out because he wouldn't have been idled as much. This wall up over here, this protection like this that he's built around his gold mine, he wouldn't have had any pressure, and then he would have been the one able to just simply continue the pressure only onto the Rapl. But after all is said and done, after the damage is dealt and the numbers are checked and the dots are ticked and the I's are dotted, it's 27 villages to 26. So the early game here, a little bit of chaos to get everything started, but advantage Susanoo. Advantage Susanoo is a marker to come up for Kvoth. He doesn't want to stick around in this classical age. He wants a heroic age. He wants to get himself some upgrades and all that other good stuff. I believe the best god to pick versus Quetzalcoatl versus Aztecs for the Japanese is going to be Raijin. And the reason why we want Raijin is because we want Raiju to deal with the Archer Mass. So it's literally the answer for the for Eagle Warriors and things like that. Of course, your opponent can build Warrior Priest and try and play into that and try and deal with the Raiju, and that's perfectly valid and fine. And then it's a micro contest, but you do need those Raiju versus the Eagle Warriors, I think, as not just Susanoo, but also as Amaterasu. And then if you're playing as Tsukiyomi, you actually have another option. I'm going to say it, but I'm going to say it with a caveat that I haven't tried it yet, but it sounds good on paper. And something that sounds good on paper has to be good in reality, right? The Kama Itachi is a very, very solid unit to be using versus Eagle Warrior. You heard it here first. I wouldn't be surprised to see people going for that. As the bunny rabbits, the 4 bunny rabbits, that's veterancy tier 2, I think. I think they're going to be able to take out the villagers very, very quickly. The Rapl's rabbit, however, has been stuck and goes down, unfortunately, there as Kvoth pops out, shanks, and he's good to go. Both players now in the heroic age as we've got that Koil Zhaoqui in, and we're going to see a Great Temple coming down immediately here for Rapl to secure his second gold mine. That's the thing that he wants to do. Of course, if Kvoth had stuck it out a little bit in the classical age, hit these units, he could have charged across the map and looked for some real good damage here. Of course, then the Starfall would come down and then you have to play around that. But he could have gone for that. He probably could have attempted a denial of a gold mine, but both players here respecting god powers and saying, look, it's just better to get to that heroic age, which does mean that the second gold mine issue that can be present in some of these high level games is going to be dealt with here, and they should both be somewhat fine, I reckon. Though Kvoth is taking his time to get out of his base to get onto this. We are seeing a whole bunch of daimyo coming through. Very, very important to make these to deal with the speedy Tsitsimiddles and all that other good stuff. We're not seeing any of those Raiju just yet. Of course, you don't really need to build them until you start seeing the Eagle Warrior mass. As we see raids coming through, the Agave Bloom heals those villagers back up, but it's just food lost there actually on the berry bush there. So you come in, sniper, lightning the villagers, and the villagers will all live. Agave Bloom will heal them all back up, but that food loss there does hurt a little bit. As I guess the idea here for Rapl, if he feels safe, which he might, he could consider just going Mythic Age here. As the Raiju and Naginata Riders see the Shorn ones. You don't really want to get close to those because they're going to stun you. I believe that stun hits every military unit, right? Or is it only human? Stuns heroes and human soldiers. So it doesn't stun the myth units. But yeah, nonetheless, over onto this side, Naginata Rider versus Tsitsimiddle does not seem like a good idea here. As the stun comes through, those Naginata Riders take a huge amount of damage. Does he get out of here? Oh. 7 HP in a dream. Kvoth can go and heal that back up. Get some shit off of that. That's nice. That feels good. Over onto this side, we do have the Starfall coming through. I've been at the receiving end of this Starfall as the castle coming down onto this side. As Kvoth does get spotted here. We see the Tsitsimiddle there as well. And the lightning or thunderburst needs to get dropped there so that the castle goes up. But as I was saying, I've been on the receiving end of this starburst thing. This one here, Starfall, Starburst. We got Thunderburst, we got Starfall. Brain not working. Spread formation seems like the answer to not take a huge amount of damage. So once the Starfall comes down, select your army. My hotkey is X. But I'm sure there's some other hotkeys there, whatever it is. Spread formation, and then just click out of the thing. And you should take a little bit less damage, I think, from overall, is my guess. I haven't, again, another thing that I haven't actually tested, and I'm telling you it with full confidence that it actually works. This is just my own way of saying, just try something and see if it's better, and then you can tell me if it works or not. There's too many games to play, too many interactions to memorize, and I need help to work it all out. So I'll give you my ideas, you try it out, and if it works or it doesn't work, then you spam me in the comment section. You say, I tried it, it felt worse. Damn you, Boit. Or I tried it, it's great, you're the best, Boit. I don't mind, either or. You just leave that comment and tell me what you reckon. Of course, you could just say, Boit, why don't you just go into the editor and just try it out and see which one's actually better. And to that I say, you're absolutely right. I'm a very lazy Age Mythology streamer, and I should do that. Okay, thank you. But still, leave a comment. Up onto the top, the tits of middle's coming through. Nice little roar there as the units get sent packing. The Naginata Riders will kill off one little dude. Over onto this side, we do have the... He tries to keep his poor Thunderous Wolf alive with God Power cast. Does not work for him. And he loses that one in the corner as it gets trapped. Onto this side, Titsamiddle going after the Raiju. The Titsamiddle is such a strong unit versus Myth units, but a Miko on top of that Raiju changes that dynamic completely. As the unit's charging in onto this side, it's very strange here to see Rapl not making any Eagle Warriors. He's only now starting it as the Yuumi Horse Archers have come into the mix. As the Raiju will be able to get out of here. And this is the point in which every bit of favor, every bit of Bushido favor stipend for Susanoo needs to go into Raiju. You don't really have another great choice here. I sort of felt like the Shinobi were a decent enough option, but the problem with Shinobi versus the Eagle Warriors is that the Sean one will stun them and kill them off. So you have to, if you are going to go Shinobi, you have to play the most scrappy game you've ever played of let's not actually engage our opponent ever. We're just going to run around the map killing buildings and trying to catch out their Eagle Warriors. So that's that option. But the more prevalent option is to utilize your high DPS Yuumi Horse Archers to take out the Warrior Priests, and then you can kill off the back line. Alternatively, like Thunderburst onto it, or God Powers to kill off the Eagle Warriors as well, can be an option through. But yeah, like any sort of high speed, long range archer, I say any other, like the Chariot Archer, one of the best options to actually play versus that is actually walls. And Kvoth does build up his base quite nicely here. He's sitting back over here. I'd love to see a wall on this side so he can actually run if he needs to. But a little bit of a lull before the storm as Kvoth is trying to bait Rapl in here. He shows Rapl half of his army, sitting the rest of his army in his main base, trying to bait as hard as he can. He pulls behind the castle, and now Rapl charging in because he thinks that a Mythic Age is coming. Really smart play here from Kvoth, but he needs to get his army actually in. He's sitting back. I don't know what he's waiting for here. He's trying to min defend with not very much. What is he waiting for? He's waiting for the units to be as out of position as they possibly can. But was that too cute from Kvoth? As now his units onto the backside. He does get that Lion Thunderous Roar, Raiju Thunderous Roar onto the archers, but with only one, it's not going to really be enough. He's now going up through Watatsumi, but he had the units to collapse there, and I feel like he would have had an amazing fight. But he just decided to not do it for way too long. I don't know if he just didn't click it, or he did click it and the click didn't go through. I don't know. But he had that bait perfectly, and he just didn't take advantage of it. Very, very surprising, but he will get that Watatsumi through. Nonetheless, he's very, very far behind on military population here, as effectively Rapl's going to lose this army. Rapl is going to lose this army. He's got to know that a Mythic Age is coming at this point. He's spent all of these resources on his army, and his opponent hasn't. So where they go, they went into something. Dragon Typhoon is going to eliminate this. So either Rapl needs to just go, okay, let's go Mythic Age right now, and just accept we're going to lose the units, and maybe start looking for some more buildings to play defense behind while we get to our own Mythic Age power spike. Or he needs to invest in all the town centers and just let his economy start finding that advantage, rebuild his army, and fight it out in the heroic age while his economy comes online. But we'll see what the option is going to be. The other thing here for Kvoth is, now that he's in the Mythic Age, another unit that he can build, which is incredibly effective versus the Eagle Warrior, as the Eagle Warriors do all get absolutely butchered there. And he gets out with a lot of these units actually on the backside, though. That's got to feel good. So really, Rapl didn't lose. He did lose a lot of Eagle Warrior, but he didn't lose a huge amount of everything there. But yeah, the other unit here that is amazing versus the Eagle Warrior for Japan, and there's a couple actually, and actually all three of them are amazing versus Japan in the Mythic Age. But the Shinigami here is 110% an option to be used for Kvoth moving forward. In fact, I'm pretty sure any usage of Favor is a good one right now. Raiju, Shinigami, Thunderburst, Dragon Typhoon. Yeah. Of course, the Asura and the Onmaraki are also amazing versus these Eagle Warriors and all that other good stuff. But nonetheless, we will see Tlaloc coming through for the Rapl now as Husbandry, Okpatli, Infusions, Shaft Mine are all going to be coming through. And now Kvoth is going to be searching in onto this position, looking for a raid. He does give Rapl all the heads up that he's coming through here, though, as he's searching for anything down the bottom. Is there anything down there? Doesn't see. There's a black spot. Villagers on that wood line would have been a nice little raid, but a big overcommitment there as the asymmetrical bows do come through. And this actually helps out more than you would think. One of the... Actually, am I wrong on that? I think I am. Hold on, let me have a quick look. No, I'm not. One of the big advantages of that asymmetrical bow is the extra range. Yumi Horse Archer, 18 range. That's up from 15 because he's got Hunter Strength as well. And yes, the Eagle Warrior has got 21 range, so it can basically space or not even space, but keep the Yumi Horse Archer out of the fight. With that speed and that range, it can very easily get some nice shots off. It's kind of like the interaction between the Arcus and the Peltast, and the Peltast sitting at 21 range as Hades, I think. I can't remember what it is. And then the Arcus goes up to 21 range as well. It's equal range, which means the Peltast is going to be always able to shoot the Arcus when you shoot the... when the Arcus is there, it's always going to be able to shoot the Arcus, right? But the Arcus is going to be able to stay out of range while sniping the front line. And that would be the idea here with the heavy Yumi Horse Archer. You're just going to continuously be shooting, scooting backwards. Nonetheless, big Kusanagi to come through, as well as the Thunderburst, as now Rapl does need to pull back. I think Rappl's trying to force just that little bit too much here into Kvoth. He does not need to really force these fights. He's getting the walls up on the bottom, which is fantastic, but really he should be looking for map control. He should be looking to expand his gold mine sort of situation. But nonetheless, this big power spike for Kvoth as Tlaloc is just about to come through. The Raiju trying to chase down the Eagle Warriors, but does decide to pull back for the time being. There's going to be another usage of Dragon Typhoon here as well. I think that was, without question, the biggest waste of a Dragon Typhoon I think I've ever seen. That is not what you're looking for that God Power. This God Power can get you upwards of like 6k resource advantage. It's absolutely broken right now without question. I think he killed like 1,000 resources worth of unit with that one. As the villagers in the main base now going to get chased down. Kvoth charging in here looking for something to take out. As the rest of these units are going to be coming through here. We will see the Warrior Priest getting targeted down there as it tried to get converted into a Deuterina. We do have that texture block coming in there for Rapl nonetheless. Try and force these units away as more Warrior Priests want to come through for the Warrior Priest Incarnate. The Quetzalcoatl Incarnate here actually is the one. It's going to be a nice little bit of a help, and there's also going to be that power spike of 15 units that can go into the Great Temple, and we'll see how it's all going to go. As Kvoth going to be getting himself some more Deuterinos, and immediately we will see the Slal. Wait, did he get the wrong one? He absolutely did. You should grab this technology first, and then this one. You save resources, and it trains faster. Anyways, maybe he's going to sack a villager, and he's going to go for it. I don't know. He's getting all the other upgrades first. Feast of Sustenance also here, but wait, he doesn't have... How many chickens does he have? Or turkey? He's got 1 turkey. If you are focused on ensuring that your Cal Pulley is always creating turkeys, then this Feast of Sustenance is actually quite good. One idea, again, another idea I haven't actually tested, but one idea is to put your livestock pen, great attack here from Rapl. One idea is to put your livestock pen actually onto your wood line. And if you've split your wood line up, like, or onto your gold mine, for example, if you split your gold mine up, so you have one gold mine with the craft workshop, and then one gold mine with the livestock pen, or one wood line with the lumber outpost, one wood line with the livestock pen, and then you're going to be able to get a whole bunch of turkeys that go into your main base or onto your temple, and you just basically right-click them onto your from the cow pulley onto the temple, and you're good to go for a huge economic boost. But nice attack here from Kvoth as he breaks through this position. Meanwhile, where did that come from? Right up here. Pillar of Tlalocan comes down, takes out the castle, and that's going to allow Rapl to kill off a bunch of villagers here. So Awazotl is going to be a big problem unit for Rapl to for Kvoth to deal with. But Kvoth is going to put a castle back up over onto this side. Units going to be making their way up here. He sees the town center. Villager-wise, there is a bit of an advantage at the moment for our main man, Kvoth. And he does have a military advantage too. 5 Miko on the dragon, on the favor, and he's also got an extra 100 favor coming for himself. So, for example, dropping another Shrine of the Hunt somewhere, like for example over here, that will bring his Dragon Typhoon cost down. Then he's got the Thunderburst, that'll bring his Dragon Typhoon cost down. Running straight into the army is definitely not what you want to be doing there, though. This is a big fight back. This is a big throw from Kvoth, actually, as all of those Yumi Horse Archers do end up going down. This is going to give a lot more life for the Rapl in this game. He was basically, I wouldn't say dead to rights, but he's got very, very little in the way of resources. Back onto this gold mine now. He's on 1 town center versus 3. But yeah, picking off all those units changes things in a big way here as the Naginata Ride is trying to take out villages and all that other good stuff. Meanwhile, we've got ourselves burnt water coming through. This is literally just boiling oil. Not my favorite tech. It's not my favorite. Like, in terms of things that I think are cool and I want to grab, a unique technology that costs 300 wood, 20 favor, that enables boiling oil. Let's just say I would prefer to see something like actual fire coming out of my buildings. We'll see if I can show off what's actually going on there. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it is actually fire, and they changed it behind my back. As the Tauntaun Smasher will go down here, not taking out the town center just yet. Needs talk. Yeah, Rapl still doesn't have this tech. He's missing the Tlalocues. It's a huge power spike. I don't think he's also used his castle, his Great Temple sacrifices just yet either. Which is a big problem, because the longer the game goes on, the less powerful those sacrifices become, because your opponent becomes more powerful to deal with them, right? So the power spike kind of goes away, but there he goes on the sack, and you can see his Tlalocues will come through, and now he can get all of his economic upgrades, huge gold increase, and he's going to enjoy that nicely moving forward. So now the villagers will drop some walls over here, trying to keep this gold mine alive. There is a big problem for Rapl in that he just doesn't have anyone on that bottom gold mine, and he needs this gold. Actually, never mind, he has a couple of units here. And there's a lot of units in for Kvoth, whilst making some amazing military decisions here, military movement decisions here, because he's got a gold mine here, that's fine. Losing this doesn't matter, because he's still going to be getting gold, whereas Rapl doesn't have any gold income at the moment. No micro from Kvoth, however, as the Shorn ones are getting more value than they probably should there, but it doesn't matter. He picks off everything. Happy days. We've got the Kimichin spies actually coming in. He's going to be trying to spam those into the Great Temple to get himself the myth unit sack. It's the cheapest, in quotation marks, it's the cheapest way to get that Great Temple sacrifice is with Kimichin spies. The problem with it is it's taking away from your villager train time. So while it is the cheapest, you are paying for it in the long run, right? Like if I'm not getting out, if my town center is not producing any villages, then that means I'm not getting that extra one resource, or extra plus 1 resource a second every 17 seconds, if that makes sense. Until the commission spies are all out. So that's where the... Anyways. Town center goes down for Rapl, and I think it's looking like Rapl is out of juice in this game. He's still looking for raids and things in the main base. This is getting defended nicely from Kvoth. Kvoth only building effectively cavalry here is wild to me, but he does have a very, very nice god path with this. The only thing that would make his cavalry any stronger would be going through Fujin for the Gale's Fury technology. But of course, like I said, you actually do need Raijin to survive the Eagle Warriors, so it's not really an option. But there goes the Myth unit sacrifice. There's all of these Onmyoji here, however, so they're actually going to be somewhat of an answer for this. If Kvoth wants to turn and do some shanks, he's trying to run to heal them up, I think, and get his units back in, distracting away for the moment here. If he can actually get back, that's going to be fantastic, because yeah, like I said, he can just heal them all up as the Yumi horse archers go, hello there, what's going on? Get away from me. And now he will heal up all those guys. Man, it's so much value. Look at the damage these guys have done. 10,000. Of course, that's mostly buildings there. They're only 10 kills. But like the healing, the fact this unit has 250 gold, 5 favor cost, an insanely expensive unit, right? But it has healing, means if you can micro it, you just gain infinite value. This is such a strong unit for Japan. As the town center over here going to be getting torn down, and Kvoth, it's 27 villages to 83. What happened there from Rapl? He's just got no villages left. Kvoth is just like not letting Rapl breathe in this game. Takes the town center down. He's still got a very, very admirable army here. However, a Thunderburst will most likely be coming through here. There it goes, and that's going to hit those Eagle Warriors, prevent them from easily taking out the back line, as the Onmyoji is taking out all those Myth units, as well as the Daimyo as well here. Those are going to be nice, but Eagle Warriors will slowly start going down here as well, as he's trying to take them all out. But I think as the Onmyoji finish off the final little bits of Myth unit here, Rapl, even if he manages to take out all these units, he's not going to be able to repopulate like Kvoth will. Kvoth's got so many resources in the bank here. Those Eagle Warriors will pull back over here. And then what? And then what is the question? 28 villages to 83 is an insurmountable task for anyone. If there was a unit that could help the Ahuazotl and running around the map and just sniping villages non-stop on these exposed gold mines. Because Kvoth's got no gold mines at the moment. That's the one problem for Kvoth. But then again, he's got more military, so it's not like it's a big issue. He can just walk over there and sit his army on the gold and mine it, and he should be fine. I guess the idea here from Kvoth is that Onmyoji are another decent counter to the Eagle Warriors, because they've got that splash damage. They don't really do a huge amount of damage though. So you have to really get the value out of the splash damage. So if someone goes mass Onmyoji, just go spread formation with those Eagle Warriors and you should be fine. I still think the answer here is Shinigami. Another Dragon Typhoon that does like next to no damage, and Rapl has had enough. 3 Dragon Typhoons in one game. You can tell I'm unhappy about it. So I'm like, man, if he builds Shinigami, if he builds Raiju, he has the answer to this army comp, but no, he just goes Dragon Typhoon. Kvoth outplayed this in this game in a really, really big way. That's why he's so far in front, and why he wins this game. The raids, the villager kills, and all of that. But the Dragon Typhoons, these things, they didn't really help him out all that much. The first one did, but that's about it. But anyways, you can see the resource diff here as Kvoth does end up taking over. And the military graph here, mostly being a little bit difficult, but there was that one fight here that I feel like Kvoth set up perfectly to collapse in on and catch Rapl out, but he just didn't. And that sort of gave Rapl a very, very big shot in winning this game. And in fact, in that moment, I was like, yeah, if Rapl makes a couple of good decisions here, plays a little slower, gets his town centers up, and gets his economy going, stays in the heroic age, he's probably fine. Even after losing half of his army to the Dragon Typhoon, you know, he's going to be in a good spot. But he didn't go for that, and he kind of played a little bit more crazy and aggressive. And the issue with playing crazy aggressive versus Susanoo is that the Bushido will come through faster. So there's two ways for Susanoo to play. If the opponent's going to sit back and not do a whole lot, you basically need to go into myth units, otherwise your Bushido is not going to come online. If you go into myth units, then you're not going to have the favor for your god powers. So it sort of feeds itself. But you get the myth units, which are great, but you don't get the god powers. So, but you can go and attack because you have the myth units. Do you know what I mean? Whereas in this situation where you're playing defense as Susanoo, then the god powers come online faster because you're fighting more. So you get more Bushido. You don't need to spend it on the myth units to get Bushido, passive Bushido, if that makes sense. Anyways, it's a bit of an interesting one. I think there's a lot of detail here from Susanoo that you have to sort of unpack. And once you understand how the Susanoo sort of like system works, then you have to start asking yourself, okay, how do I play around that? And I think the answer here was for Rapl to be a little bit more mindful of the Bushido system, a little bit more defensive, taking the fights a little bit more favorably, so to speak. Town center here, lots of maybe a market and trade route, fully walling up, those sort of things, playing much, much more slow and securing gold mines and things like that as a goal rather than trying to push your opponent off of the gold mines. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this one, make sure you hit the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.